Oh, yeah. I like it. Yeah, swing it, baby. Come on. Hey, Chicago, Chicago. That time.
Dorothy Margison with a speech entitled Saturday Night. With a speech entitled Saturday Night. Please welcome Dorothy Margison.
Saturday night, the year 1943. It was a terrible war, the cruelest war. I could tell you about that, but I won't. The destruction, the shattering, I could tell you about that, but I won't. The silent morning, I could tell you about that, but I won't. Instead, I'll invite you all to come with me. Come and join me in 1943. We were 13, 14-year-olds leaving school that year, and our Saturday night treat was to go to the local chippy. It was cold night. It was a dark night. No street lights. No moon. He'd gone. It was pitch black. It was so black, it was eerie. We all held close to each other. It was as black as the ace of spades. We kept going. As we got nearer to the chippy, you could smell the chips. Oh, the smell of the chips and the hunger. Oh, we couldn't get there quickly enough. Then we opened the door. We all going in, and the voice says, "Watch that blackout, shut that door. Don't you know there's a war on?" That was Mr. Bradwell. He owned the shop. We all crammed in. It was a job to see the bright light in there after the pitch black outside. You all walked in like this with your eyes screwed up. But it was lovely and warm, and the smells were beautiful in there. He'd got the boiler door open. You could smell the hot coal because you cooked with coal in those days. And you had proper fat in the chip pans too. And the smell of it clean and fresh. And the steam rising, misting the mirror over the unit. It was all so lovely and intriguing to us. Mr. Bradwell would be dipping the fish into the batter, dropping them in. And then he would go to the other pan, pick up a bucket of potatoes, chuck those in, give them a shuffle, put the lids down. Then he would shout, "Lily, bring another bucket of potatoes up, please." Lily would come in with a bucket of potatoes. She put them on the shelf at the side of her. Then she would pick a potato up, stick it on the chipper, and pull down the handle. And the chips fall below, back into the bucket again. In the meantime, Mrs. Bradwell is further down the counter, and she's folding newspapers. She's got a big carving knife, one of those great big nasty looking ones. She would slip the papers, and then she would piece of newspaper, piece of white paper, piece of newspaper, piece of white paper, piece of newspaper, piece of white paper, until she had a pile. That was ready for serving the fish and chips when they came out of the pictures about 8 o'clock. Because you came out of the pictures early in those days too. We'd all be looking, and Mrs. Bradwell would say, "Now, what do you lot want?" So 6 of us would all say at once, "Penny plate of chips, please." "Hey, less of it, or outside you go." We knew she was joking, but we'd all bed our heads down and say, "Yes, Mrs. Bradwell." Then she would say, "Right, let's have your pennies." We would all give her our pennies. We would then go into the back room. In the back room were 2 long tables with salt and vinegar on, with benches down the sides of them. We'd take our top coats off and we'd all slide down the benches, and we'd sit, we'd chatter, make a lot of noise, because after all, we were 13 and 14. We didn't use bad language. We had to be careful, we had to be good, because they'd tell your mum. Then Lily would bring the chips in. You pick one up with your fingers. Ow! That was hot. And as Lily's going out of the room, she would turn around and say, well, what do you expect? They've just come out of a hot place. One of the boys had taken jam jars back. 3 jam jars and you got a penny. So he wanted a plate of bread to make some chip butties. He was lucky. After we'd eaten our chips, we'd still be making the noise, but we'd play dominoes. And I can hear the clack clack of the dominoes still. That was all right till the big lads come in. If the big lads came in, we couldn't play dominoes any longer. And the clock on the wall, it was one of those granddaughter clocks, you know, in the big wooden frames, with a pendulum that went tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And all of a sudden, one of us would suddenly look at that clock and say, look, it's nearly 7:30, we'd better go, we'll be in trouble when we get home. Because we were supposed to be in for 7:30. After all, it was blackout. We'd go and leave the chip shop to the sound of Mr. Bradwell's voice saying, watch that blackout, I've told you there's a war on. And we would disappear into the darkness of the night. But before I let you all disappear, I'd like to leave you with 3 thoughts from 1943. Penny for your bus fare, a penny for your thoughts, and a penny for the best chips in the whole wide world.
Yeah, swing it, baby. Come on. Hey, Chicago.